The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. And they're off. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga on Woodward Day. And yes, Kentucky Derby Day as well. We have a beautiful day in store here in Saratoga Springs. Sunny skies, the temperature in the 70s. The main track is fast. The turf courses are firm. Portable rails are up at 18 feet on both the melon and the inner turf. And we have that jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of more than $395,000. No changes in today's first race. In the second race, scratch the 1A, we got old and you got sold. Scratch 1A out of the second. In today's third race, couple of scratches, scratch 3 Gringotts and 9 Appletini. Scratch numbers 3 and 9. Race 4 is the Grade 2 Glens Falls Stakes, and there are no changes. And no changes in the fifth. Sixth race, no changes. Please note we have an additional pick 5 today, and it will begin in race number 6. And for that pick 5, there is a mandatory payout today. Race 7 will start the Empire 6. Scratch 10 River Redemption, 11 Demon, and 12 Tiwanaku. Scratch 10, 11, and 12 out of the 7th. In today's 8th race, scratch 1A Stanhope and the 6 Market Bubble. Scratch 1A and scratch 6 from race 8. Today's 9th race, the Grade 2 Jim Dandy. No changes, and the 9th race is the first leg of today's cross-country pick 5. Race 10 is the Grade 2 Prioress. Scratch number 1, Kamari. Scratch the 1 out of race 10. The 11th race, the Grade 1 Woodward. No changes. And in today's 12th race, scratch 7, Tolaga Bay, and 14, No Lime. Scratch 7 and 14. And a rider change will be announced for number 6, Implied Volatility. Main track fast, turf courses firm. Jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of more than $395,000. We'll come back at 11:15 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 11:45. Coming up next, the Saturday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. And today we can truly say good morning. It is 10:15 as we get ready for a 12-race Kentucky Derby Day extravaganza of Talking Horses. Anthony and I will try to talk about the Derby if we have a few moments at the end of the show. And, of course, Talking Horses is brought to you by our good friends at Saratoga Water. We thank them for their support during this Saratoga meet and perhaps elsewhere. Anyhow, we've got 12 to talk about. I'm Andy Serling. He's Anthony Stabile. He'll be on in a second. You know the drill. Best way to play today's races, the Derby, all races, any day, anywhere, all times in America and elsewhere is through NYRA Bets. Become a member of NYRA Bets Sport Racing in New York. We will match up to $200 of your initial deposit, as well as offer you a free $25 play. Use the promo code Derby25. Become a member of Naira Bets and enjoy the many wonderful things it has to offer. We offer a free $5 if through the app you bet 25 or more to win on the last here and the fourth at Del Mar through the weekend. Also, a special bonus here and Churchill Downs, 100 and 100. If you bet at least $100 here and $100 at Churchill Downs, you get a $25 bonus. You must do it through the app and the app only. I'm trying to remember if I bet that much yesterday. I did. I'm good. Thanks for worrying, Anthony.
There was no worries about either of us betting 100 and 100 yesterday.
I got taken down. It was a legitimate TQ, though. Cross country pick 5 today. Race 9, the Jim Dandy. Race 9 at Monmouth. Race 8 at Delaware, Race 10, the Prior is here. A couple of grade 2s. And then Woodbine, the Vigil. Race 9. So 4 different tracks, and it's cross countries for today's cross-country pick 5. Also want to remind people, one last contest. That'll be tomorrow. You've still got a little time to sign up. So head over to Naira.com/challenge. The last Sunday contest, $250 buy-in cash prizes. You must play through Naira Bets. Excellent contest, and we seed them with $2,500. All of today's action from 1 to 7, early races at Churchill Downs, I believe, and then we'll go into races here. Through 6:30, 11 to 6:30, I believe, today. Go to Naira.com/Saratoga Live to find out where you can watch, and you can always watch on the Naira YouTube page. Anthony, happy Derby Day. How are you?
Happy Derby. I broke the jacket out. Everybody was asking for the jacket. There we go. Yeah, we need a good close-up on this one. Send all your Miami Vice snide comments to @TheBigASTabil on Twitter. And looking forward to Derby Day here in Saratoga. Let's hope it never happens again, but let's enjoy a unique experience. Go, tis the law.
My dentist wants to know who I like in the Derby.
Do you ever mess around with anybody? No. Tell them like Major Fed?
You know, I'm a little insulted. A friend of mine asked me last night. I was out for a drink. She asked me if I give out other picks than I bet on. I said, you've just insulted me, just so you know.
I flip out. That's the one thing. I try to stay calm with people nowadays. If they ask me that, I kind of snap.
I was a little hurt. I've gotten over it. Let's talk about today's races. Race number 1.
Let's
head over to the 7th race on August 12th and take a look at Tackle and Neuro. I don't have a knock on Tackle. I thought this horse ran fine first time out. Microsecond probably did much more of the dirty work, and I think Tackle just picked up pieces, but ran fine.
Yeah. You see him making up some ground there. He's going to have to alter course a little bit, get outside of horses. Like you said, Microsecond was more involved from the get-go, and Tackle took advantage of that. But for a horse on debut, a little green, I guess, in the lane. But
really?
I thought he finished up nicely. Yeah, I mean, that move inside, he kind of like
I didn't see the greenness.
Drifted in a little bit.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
The grass was green, I thought, but I didn't see the green.
I don't know. He was a little sporadic.
I like the one Kaz's Beach. You and I have reversed the picks here.
Mm-hmm.
I know this horse coming in from Penn National, but I got to tell you, this horse ran pretty well. The horse that won the race wired the field, came back to win, and improved the buyer figure 9 points at Delaware in a subsequent start. Thought Kaz's Beach ran fine in the race. Got a reasonably good trip in there, but, all things considered, ran out a bit in the first turn, but overall it was a pretty good trip. But I just thought this horse would be somewhat more forward with Kendrick on, and it was a fast pace last time out, so I like Kaz's Beach. And I thought Tackle would be a little overbet on what I thought was a very, very good trip. What about the firster for Todd Pletcher, the 6 Ancient Times, as Todd Pletcher goes into the final weekend, one up on Chad Brown, and both of them with quite a few starters throughout the weekend. It should be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how this horse handles the turf. Has a pretty slow breeze, a 104 breeze, 2 breezes back. By Carpe Diem, I didn't see a ton of turf pedigree here.
Okay, there were 4 horses to try the turf from the dam. 2 of them won. They ran buyers in the 60s. They weren't superstars, but there's certainly enough turf pedigree. Carpe Diem's a Giant's Causeway, though, so I suppose he could have a turf influence.
Maybe. I was leaning towards 1s and 3s in here, like you. I wouldn't even be surprised if Kendrick put Kaz's Beach on the lead today.
Yeah, what I was interested about Ancient Times about. Stay with her for a second. And we got that. This was a $320,000 weanling purchase. That is a very, very high price for a weanling.
Yeah.
And after I stopped by the Saratoga sale in October last year, and I saw some of the weanlings. They're little.
They're tiny. And for those of you, if you're just tuning in for the first time, if you're a new fan, a weanling is before the horse turns 1. So this horse was born in February and was purchased 9 months. So this horse was literally 9 months old when they paid. That's a big price.
And that's February's an early purchase, early birth date, but still, you think about most of the sales don't really start until I think July. So it's it's a good 8 months before the normal sales start. Just some food for thought, and that's quite a big purchase price. Race number 2. Anyone that looked at Monday's card knew that you'd see a scratch of either the 1 or 1A out of this race, as they are both entered as an entry. So you'll know that in all likelihood you'll see we got sold, we got whatever coming back on Monday.
We got old, you got sold.
Win with Pride. We'll take a look at that race 2 back, the last fast track race with Win with Pride down at Gulfstream. I would say it's safe to say runs the 92 buyer figure. He's going to win here.
Yeah, and that was his 3rd start off of the claim for Todd Fletcher. I thought he ran well enough. I thought his race, first time for Todd.
Enough. Just where did this figure come from? I guess he ran those in the back. It's like he runs a bunch of 70s, and then he goes back to the 90s, and then sloppy track or not, he kind of ran the same race. Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. Yeah, he has back races. He's 6 now, and those races came, for the most part, early on last year and late in his 4-year-old year. He has it in him, and like I said, even what's become his usual effort makes him competitive in here. If he finds that 94, fair. It's all over.
Right.
92.
And, I don't like the drop downs. And I know we can tell you the reasons these horses are dropping. But drop downs are drop downs. And they still, to just say, Mike Rapoli is 3 behind Clarvett Stable. He's trying to win an owner's title. And Todd Pletcher's fighting with Chad Brown. All of that is true. And all of that may very well have been almost the entire reason this horse is dropping. But this horse ran a 92 buyer 2 starts back, failed allowance for a 62 time, still didn't run that badly, and now they're running for 16. So they are dumping this horse and losing him Mike Rapoli's 3 behind Clarvett Stable with 3 days to go, and Clarvett Stable has quite a few live runners throughout the weekend. If they win 1 race, Mike has to win 4 to tie him. So, and Todd has won. I get all that. It's still a drop. It's still a dump job. It's still fair.
They're not going. They're not. This horse's stall will be empty tonight.
Right, and I'm not saying the horse won't win, but I still think you have to, at a short price, you have to at least include that in your handicapping.
I don't disagree.
And I think that's one of the reasons that you went. The horse we'll take a look at here, Deep Sea. The other reason being, of course, sources off the claim for the extremely hot Noda Barn, though they didn't win a race yet this week. Though I thought that what's his name improved. Pier 40 off the claim. And I think Control Group just didn't like the slop.
The other one was
scratched by the gate, right?
The other was scratched. Bertrand scratched at the gate. Yeah. Deep Sea was a little closer to the pace, which was slower. 2 starts back, and then last time out went back to his old routine of being off the pace. Here he is from just off the pace, getting the money. It's funny. This race is for 16. The race last time was for 12.5. I almost think the race last time was tougher than this field.
I agree with you. I think that's a very X the one being the X
correct.
Factor.
Well, I don't think take Win with Pride. Overall, I think this field is easier.
Does it not worry you that there isn't much pace? In
this
race?
Of course it worries me, but
and the horse going to be a short price.
But he did win when he was laid right off of an easy pace.
Yeah, but he's
back.
Not going to be in that position in this race.
Why do you think that? There
are too many other
Andy?
Horses here.
I don't know why, but why? I mean,
because he's not. Because with the presence of both Win with Pride and Vincero, and even the horses in front of him in that race, Vineyard Sound, even Wushu Warrior.
I mean, you understand this horse's first time Noda, right?
It's not as though he puts a ton of speed into his horses, Anthony. He's not one of those guys winning a lot of races. His horses showing unusual speed.
Not unusual speed, but they are a little more.
Zonic doesn't have any more speed.
But Zonic doesn't have speed. Period. This horse laid up 2 starts back.
We'll agree to disagree on this one, and then we'll move on from there. I'm not saying he can't win. I don't think he'll be particularly forward in this race.
You tried the good old Wushu Warrior again.
Well, I like the rider change to Joel Rosario on this horse. This horse was down towards the inside last time, which very well may not have been the place to be on that day. And he's got races that are fast enough on this rider change, and he's going to be a big price in a race where I didn't trust the 6 because of the pace. I don't trust the 1 overall, and I was looking for an alternative. And after the 2 of them, he seemed like the absolute best alternative to me.
And he has absolutely been facing better company in his last 3 starts.
See what happens in race number 2, the 3rd race today. And I just want to mention, got a nice tweet from a gentleman, that this race is named for retired FDNY Battalion Chief Paul Jetter. recovering from back surgery. We wish you we wish you well in your
Thank you,
recovery up
Paul.
at Bolton Landing. And, of course, want to give a shout-out to him and everybody at Brooklyn Ladder 120 and have a lot of fans out there, and we appreciate everybody's support, but we hope you get better from your back surgery and hope you enjoy the Trout Lake Special.
New York's
up in Bolton
bravest.
Landing.
Thank you for everything, Paul.
Absolutely. Race number 3. I think the horse to beat is this horse, the number 7, Silky Blue. See, finishing second to Giacosa, one of Jimmy Bond's 436 winners at this meet. Yesterday, by the way, was Day New Friday at Saratoga with the combination of Rinaldi.
How about Rinaldi at 6 to 5?
Well, it may have eclipsed My Heart Belongs to Daddy, who was the 4th fastest horse and went up 3 to 2 and walked in the front end, though that half was fake. And this horse, I accept 5.5 furlongs. I'm not so sure that 5.5 furlongs should be a problem for a horse who kind of has more of a sprint pedigree on the dam side. I worry this horse could get a little lost on the rider change, turning back to sprint.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this horse is going to be better sprinting. I just don't know if 5.5 is going to be what she wants.
Agree.
The 6, 7. I think Belmont Park, those 6
fair.
and 7 furlong turf sprints might be a little easier on her. The mile proved to be a little just too much for her last time out. She's obviously a player in here. I had a bit of a tough time with this race. I think there were 4 or 5 horses that could win. I feel like she'll be one of the shorter prices. David has a 4 to 1 in the morning line.
4 to 1 seems like an over. I think she'll be shorter.
Yeah, I think she'll be shorter too.
What do you like? Sarah Love is morning line favorite. What do you like about this horse?
I'm stunned she's the morning line favorite.
I'm stunned that anyone would pick her.
Well, I got to feel like with Winifred J and Fractorization, who showed some speed when she won, I think there'll be a little bit of a pace in here. Even
Winifred J is completely loose in here.
Right. Well, even if it's one of them, I got to imagine I don't really trust either of the horses I think could be in front of Saratoga Love. I just think Joelle will pocket up behind whoever's in front.
But she's never run a good
race. First crack. You don't think the race 2 back? I know it was
on a Super Gold rail. It was a No, it was a total phony. It was a complete and total phony.
We look at that. We look at those things a little.
I know. I actually believe in the fact that the rails were down, and every horse that was on the inside and the inner for an entire week outperformed their races. Anthony, you don't believe in that?
I don't not believe in it, but
you just said you don't.
You don't think the people putting the figures together believe in it too?
The figures have nothing to do with bias. That's the whole point of biases. They have nothing to do with speed. They have nothing to do with speed figures. That's the beauty of biases. They will show you fake figures, and they will also show you figures that should be better than they are. So that's the beauty of bias. So we'll move on from that. You like her? I don't. I thought it was a slow pace last time out when they rated Winifred J. I mean, I guess there were better horses. I don't know. I don't really like her, but okay. What about Fractorization and Magnolia's Lady? We'll show them in the race where Fractorization's been disqualified and Magnolia's Lady improved off of it after she was down the inside.
Yeah, I don't know how Fractorization was able to get loose that day. I thought there was some other speed in there that never showed up, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't remember. Right, though.
Yeah, should have come down, no question about it. Bothered Snicket a couple of times through the
I was shocked this horse got left up.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I like Magnolia's Lady better than I like Fractorization.
Me too. Linda doesn't have great numbers, though. She's just 5 for 30 off of maiden wins in turf sprints from 5 to 6 furlongs. I thought she might have better numbers, so it doesn't suggest the horse moves forward. I have to go back to Winifred J, a horse that Javier made a tactical error in trying to rate last time. Now, she may not have won anyway, but they're putting Kendrick on. Obviously, they want to be aggressive. Now, I don't know if she's really good enough, but she got involved in the supersonic pace 2 races back that completely imploded. And 3 races back, a same thing. And she actually didn't run that badly, finishing 6th, beating only 3 lengths. And I'm just going to hope Kendrick tries to put her in front. She's got some races that are fast enough to compete here, and she'll be a square price. I don't totally trust her.
She should be in front, and she'll be 8 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I'm not in love with her. But for originally, I was thinking of picking Silky Blue, and I said, how can I not pick Winifred J? You know what I mean? I liked her last time. We were right to be annoyed and go to the lead.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she would have won. We'll see. You like Sarah Love. I've never liked this horse, but maybe you'll be right here for Christophe Clement. Race number 4. We'll take a look at my sister Nat winning the Weah. And listen, she got a good setup, and she got a sensational ride by Jose Ortiz. He's 1 behind his brother now.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, we got to fight this out to the finish. It's fun, right?
Nothing better than these trainer and jockey races down to
this
close
is fun.
the last 3 days.
One difference the last 2 days. It is fun. It's fun. I agree with you. It's fun. The thing is, Anthony, great trip, great ride and all. She's beating in that race Mississippi and Fool's Gold, both of whom would be overwhelming favorites in here. So
Mississippi would be 2-5 in this race, right?
Right. Well, assuming my Cincinnati wasn't right, and she probably moved out second off a layoff. She was off a layoff. I mean, as we switch to Civil Union, who feels like the second choice, and she's okay, it just feels like my Cincinnati's a better horse.
She's got to get a lot faster.
Yeah.
She's got to get a lot faster. Yeah. You know, and I do question. I mean, whenever I see that Captain Cruz and that in those PPs, you know, winning
What?
by
She
a
won.
neck.
She won last time.
I know she did.
She won. What are you talking about? It's not Captain Cruz. She's done something at this meet I haven't done. She won.
She won. Yeah. I hear you, man. Yeah, I mean, you know what?
You've won.
Here's what you could say. I have. I'm barely winning at this point. She's improved in her last two. She's going to have to take a big jump forward and, at the same time, hope my sister Nat doesn't get better, because if my sister Nat moves forward, I mean...
One thing she has, though, on my sister Nat, she has a lot more tactical speed.
A lot more tactical speed.
So that does give her a tactical edge in this race.
Yeah.
The question in this race is what you do with the number 3, Lovely Lucky.
That was some effort last time.
I didn't bring up her replay, but I'm going to tell you something.
I appreciate that.
If that race gets repeated, she's a big-time player here, because she was a totally different horse. I mean, she is a great poster child for horses change if they stretch them out in distance, right?
Yep, because everything changed for her. She went from being 5-6 lengths off the lead to right on top of the pace. She was able to take the lead on the turn, and she just improved. She literally
jogged.
If this was the old sports eye, it would be jiggy jog,
right?
Because she just improved at every pole, and when they hit at the 5/16 pole, this race was over.
You know, Eliad, who's in here for Chad Brown, and I agree with you. I was surprised. I thought Shug might run Hungry Kitten back in here. I wonder if she's okay, because it is enough time. And, I mean, the thing about
enough time for Eliad, it should be
is,
enough time for Hungry Kitten, right?
Yeah, and Shug's happy to run them back.
Sure.
So I'm wondering, is it possible he went to Kentucky Downs with her? Is she a Kentucky bred? For people that wonder, the reason that people are inclined to ship Kentucky
she's an Emery Hamilton,
Kentucky
so she
breds
could be.
to Kentucky is they lift those big purses. Take a look where those purses are if you're not a Kentucky bred. They're really half of what they're listed. So, especially around here, if you're going to make that ship out by Nashville, you want to bring Kentucky bred. So I'm betting he's running her there. And, you know, for those that don't remember, Hungry Kitten may have been Jose Ortiz's finest moment of the meet, right? He lost the iron around the 3/8 pole, and he just facilely slipped his foot back in the iron, but she still lost a length or so and still got to beat Eliad, but maybe Eliad's improving and more distance, you know?
Yeah. Third start off of October layoff.
That wasn't a bad field.
Stretching out. No?
I bet you Hungry Kitten's going to Kentucky Downs. I hope she shows up there.
Probably.
Race number 5. These are maidens, and hopefully we'll see some nice maidens. This has a look of a nice maiden race. I think the inside 2 horses, the one Mooncod. You're always good with these names.
Yeah, I believe it's Mooncod.
Mooncod, and I think Caddo River both have B+ workouts, so perhaps either or both of those horses are runners in here. You know who Mooncod is if have to.
Yes, I do. Standing in Indiana as we speak. Shagaf.
I'm sorry.
My friend Robin. My friend
to
Robin
Indiana.
sees him every Saturday.
Really?
Yep. My friend Robin handles him every
Gotham
Saturday.
winner, Shagaf.
Yes, the Gotham.
Also, Muktamatiel, who's not a bad runner also. What did you do here? Oh, we went to the same horses.
We went to the same
here.
horse. Yeah.
That's because that's the kind of jerks that we are. So why do you like directional?
Well, out of the ride of a lifetime race down at Keeneland, who I think is going to be okay, chasing from the outside
Ride of a
draw.
Lifetime, people know, was second in the Saratoga Special for Nacho Correas, and I agree. I think he's a very talented runner.
Running
also.
in the
Iroquois
today. He's running in the Iroquois today. He's my selection in the Iroquois today, actually. This horse ran into the ride of a lifetime, first time out. Took some money at 4-1. Ships up here. You know what? This horse has been training. The work tab for this horse has been a little aggressive for Steve Asmussen. Gets Joel Rosario as Ricardo Santana Jr. is down riding in Kentucky for Derby, and.
I wish people could see your shorts. I really do. I really do. I think it really.
I got
makes
plans
the whole
after that. I don't got time to go back to the hotel, man.
Yeah, you're a busy guy.
Big Derby party to go to today.
Also, Steve Asmussen has overall, while he's won with a lot of firsters, he has very good numbers with his second-time stars, particularly up here. And the other thing about directional is the horse was bet at 4-1 and also did some running. It's not as though he just trailed around the track. He was, a length and a half behind earlier. And so
this is the Code of Honor maiden race, essentially, right? No, the Honor Code, rather. This is the race Honor Code Brokers made it in on Woodward weekend.
Oh, is that right?
I believe so.
He beat a Rapoli horse. Who did he beat?
The Rapoli horse was like 4-5 too.
Yeah. He wasn't that big a price, though. He came from 100 behind.
Scoop right up the inside on Johnny
Sloppy
V.
track.
That was the Alpha one.
Should we take a
Woodward.
look at officiating's last start? Because officiating, and we'll take a look at the start
Yes.
for a couple hundred yards in the first two. I mean, this horse has significant trouble, and this horse really ran.
I don't know if a horse had more trouble at the start this meet than this horse did. I mean, this horse really took the brunt of it early on, and it took him a while to find his way. And the head-on will really tell the story here. There he is, the number 3.
He breaks
in.
He gets bumped,
watch
and then he
that.
gets slouted.
He gets
banged.
slouted twice,
And-
inside, outside.
And this horse is. I'm not a gallop out guy. I think the gallop out. I'll put it this way: if nobody ever paid attention to gallop outs, they'd be better off. How's that? You know what I mean? It's like tips. If you never got a
Correct.
tip, your
Correct.
life would
Every
be
now and
better.
then, one of them's going to come through.
Absolutely.
You're going to cash
But
on one of them, but
this
for the
horse-
most part, the ROI is 30 cents.
This horse was running at the end of that race, and it wasn't even a fast-paced race, and was blowing by horses. The gallop out got up the leader by the turn. Now, let me ask you a question. Not that the 5 Olympiad can't win, and maybe they like Olympiad more, and I'm not saying Olympiad can't beat him. He's the morning line favorite. Isn't it odd that Benji Hernandez is riding this horse and Junior
So-
Alvarado's gone to Olympiad?
Same agent. My assumption is Junior had his choice. My assumption, I do not know this. My assumption is Junior had the choice,
Or Mike Salido.
or Mike, or the agent had the choice.
Or
My
Mott,
assumption,
or Mott said he
or Mott
preferred.
said he preferred Junior, and whatever the case is, I will say this: I know it's 7. I know it's a sprint. I put officiating ahead of Olympiad like you did. I would not be surprised after what we saw in that gallop out and everything if officiating is a horse who's going to need a lot more ground. But he's going to be a much bigger price.
I don't think we
than
have any
Olympiad.
idea what officiating is.
We
here.
don't.
We don't know that he doesn't have speed. You just don't know. You don't know. The horse got completely eliminated at the break.
He did.
I don't think we have any idea who he
He did.
is.
He
And
did.
I really don't. I understand what you're saying, but I wouldn't want to make any definitive
I
statements on what
coin
kind of horse
flipped
he is.
them. I coin flipped them more often than not. I put the horse where I think is a better chance.
Olympia comes out of a very good race,
Yeah, he does,
too.
of course. It comes out of the reinvestment risk race, and yeah, I mean, he actually did some running in that race too.
I think we both put him second for the same reason. Bigger price.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Mhm.
Can't wait
Absolutely.
to talk about Tastis, can you? How excited are you? Everybody didn't wear like Juddmonte silks today.
I gotta try and start
Race
doing
number
that.
6. There's no question that the horse to beat is Samoa. I just didn't want to. She's not going to be 5-2. I know it's a competitive race. I just feel like she could be 7-5 in here.
I don't know. I think I think she'll be 2-1. I think she'll be
Maybe.
a little shorter than David has her. I think she'll be 2. I think off her last race, despite the fact that she's cutting back, I think it's very, very hard to make her that short of a price. Because that last race, Andy, quite frankly, was just not very good. And you're putting all of you.
Yeah,
we're
but that was
putting-
a mile and an eighth. And,
I
but
know.
She ran well enough to mile 16. She shouldn't have run as badly as she did last time.
Right.
I agree.
I'm putting
One
all of
turn
my
or 2
eggs.
turns.
I'm putting all of my eggs in this race in the basket. That it was simply the fact that she didn't want to go that far.
And one thing I'll say, her maiden win is a lot better than it looks, the 81 buyer, because she attacked a fast pace that totally disintegrated behind her, and she actually ran well. I don't know. I absolutely think she's the horse to beat. I had originally picked her on top. I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on in this race. I want to show the race that Timely Tradition and Papa Chalk come out of. Not so much for Papa Chalk, but Timely Tradition. Watch the last half mile. Timely Tradition's a 2. When you see her right there with the yellow silks, she just gets completely and totally eliminated from the race, and she actually ran well. She made a big wide move after this, and there is an argument that she would have been right there had she not gotten in trouble in this race. Now, she's got to go 7. And she's more of a 6 furlong type horse, or at least that's what she's primarily been running
Right.
in. We don't know that she can't be effective 7. But she did have a big trip in here. And I tell you something, I know you don't like Papa Chalk. I know you're, and you're not wrong. I think Mark Cassie would say, I don't knock Anthony for not betting my horses. I wouldn't bet him either because he's just been snake bit the entire meet. But you got to admit, Papa Chalk did run well in here.
She did. I put her on the board today. You make a timely Tradition's trouble started at the draw last time because she was drawn inside of horses that were faster than her on the outside. She wasn't going to be able to get to the lead, and she was going to have to work out a trip. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Obviously, it didn't last time. She gets a little bit better of a better draw today. And look, Papa Choc's going to be in front. Samoa's not going to be too far off of her. You have to think there's going to be some pace in here, and with a little bit of an outside draw today as opposed to being buried down along the inside. I think Timely Tradition's a major player.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, I think a lot of horses can win in here. Carrizo ran well last time. Palace Avenger, good trip or not, came back and ran a big race. You know, Mariana Ginger once had some ability. Who knows? Maybe she can get back. Natalia Lynch, of course, the ex-assistant to Jeremiah Englehart, now trains her. Just heard from Jeremiah.
Blinkers go on her, too.
Forever Change ran okay last time out. Okay.
I thought Forever Change was going to gobble me up at the 8th pole last time out.
She got a very, very good ride. Who rode her last time? Junior. She got a
Junior
very
gave
good
her a
ride.
fantastic ride last time.
So why am I picking Don't Call Me Mary? Well, this is a very strange private purchase. Why would somebody buy a horse off a non-winners of one in a PA bred restricted race of a 69 buyer at Penn National? Sal Cummins people and stuff. It feels like this horse must have run a solid like rag figure or something, you know, whatever they look at, thoroughgraphs or ragazines. And looking that last race up, I think there is a legitimate argument that the last race this horse ran at Penn National, that figure could be 10 to 15 points higher.
I didn't make any notes, which leads me to believe there was nothing there that said to me that maybe they were buying her as a broodmare prospect at some point. And
she ran it. Well,
yeah.
No,
that was a waiver. I didn't see anything.
Why would Sal buy
Why would Sal? Then I remember.
And
maybe
she was available for a reasonable price.
Well, we don't know what they bought her for.
Right.
Correct.
But Todd Pletcher, yes, this horse has big thoroughgraph figs. The last two. Thank you, Steve. Why would Todd Pletcher, why would they have this? Is a weird horse to have. And I started, so from there I went and looked at the race. Second place finisher got a 59 buyer. Her next three figures were 74, 72, 76. So another fourth horse, 45 buyer, followed up with a 60 and a 75. I think there's another horse that went up, there was a dead heat for fourth. The fourth place went up 21 points and won at 33-1 at the next start.
Wow.
So that last race is super live. You know, I couldn't resist this horse.
Isn't she going to have some trouble dealing with Papa Choc? And
I'm not saying that she's fast enough to get the lead. I'm not.
And I'll say something. I'll say what you would say to me here. Aren't you going to lose price because of Irad and Todd?
It doesn't matter. She can't be that short in here. There's too many horses taking me. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't love her in here. She's going to be somewhere between 6 and 10-1. I don't love this horse by any stretch of the imagination, but there was too much interesting stuff about her for me not to pick her. That's all. I'm not in any way. She may run sixth, and I may just roll my eyes after the race and say, she was too slow on paper, you idiot. Why did you pick her? But I feel like she's a little interesting here, first time for Todd. That's all.
How about it, my man?
All right, that's the first six. 6 more to come, including 3 graded stakes. The grade 1 Woodward, back to a mile and a quarter. Who was the last horse to win the Woodward a mile and a quarter?
Don't remember.
Anthony, you so disappoint me. We'll tell you after the break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Thanks for staying with us on Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. The answer to the question is easy goer.
Yeah,
I figured 89. The last running was 1989. That was the year he won. Easy Goer won after the Belmont Stakes, the Whitney, the Travers, the Woodward at a mile and a quarter, the Jockey Club Gold Cup
at a mile and a half. That was the last year. It was a mile and a half. Did you have to say the last thing? Can you just leave it alone?
You know what? I hate watching that race because he loses, but I still love it. Nah, you know what? As time has gone on, I have so much respect for Sunday Silence, as much as I loved Easy Goer and as painful as it was back then. Just seeing those two heavyweights battle it out, yes, it's painful he lost them, but I don't care.
That's the race that made me want to do this.
Those are the greatest races. That's
Tom's
Furman
call.
Alydar and
There is so much when you listen to Tom's call, it's supposed to be unbiased, but you just feel like
1989 Breeders' Cup
you
Classic.
just feel like there's so much angst in the
I
last
bet
eighth
in
of
that
a
race.
mile on the
You know,
call.
I bet.
You
Blushing
probably
John.
bet Blushing John. Yeah,
15-1. He ran huge.
Ran
Big
giant.
third.
Angel.
Was it Angel?
I think it was Angel.
Yeah, that's a go to YouTube.
Tried to bottom
Go
him
to
out.
YouTube even if you've watched the 1989 Breeders' Cup Classic and enjoy it. It's
Volume
a
up.
Fabulous race, and Tom was at his peak of his powers. Race
Volume
number
up.
7, mile and a 16th on the inner turf course, and you and I are both going to go to the first time starting European Dubawi Shifting Sands.
Yes, sifting sands.
Sifting Sands.
We don't shift. This is shifting.
Did Peter Brandt win a couple of races today? He's had a tough meet. Good guy, puts a
Yeah,
lot
it's
into
been
the
a little
game,
bit of a
loves the
rough meet.
game, brought back Sister Charlie. Let's get Peter a couple wins today.
Yeah, I think he's going to get at least one. I think this horse is going.
What
to.
about my sister Nat?
And my sister Nat? Yeah. Well,
This horse is supposed to be good, right?
the rumors are this horse can. They may have to hide the wings underneath the.
To be
Shannon
fair,
and
the
saddle
rumors
valve.
were that the Peter Brandt one was supposed to be very good about a week and a half ago, and didn't run particularly well and got buried by that Brad Cox horse.
That the sprinter?
No,
No, the distance horse?
yeah, homebred, European homebred.
Oh, all right, okay, the white birch horse.
Anyway, yeah, this horse is supposed to be able to run. I love there's an extra heat near Mo Heat.
yeah. Fantastic, right?
Could you see, you don't go into Formulator, you don't look up their pedigree. She's 22. For those of you who use Formulator and you can look up the dams. Go to Formulator if you use it and look up the dam Extra Heat, who most of you are probably familiar with. And if you're not, get to Formulator ASAP and
Almost
look
won-
up the career record of her.
Almost won the 2001 Breeders' Cup Sprint. Squirtle Squirt was proved to be
Yep.
Bobby Frankel's first Breeders' Cup winner. She was on the lead.
Yep.
Was it still Rick Wilson?
Belmont.
It was still Rick at
Probably,
Belmont Park.
Rick
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, turned for home in front in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Squirtle Squirt ran her down late in the game with Jerry Bailey.
She was 26 for 35 lifetime.
And she was a winter warrior
Started
at
out
the
in
Big
a
A.
claiming
She
race.
loved the, she
Started out in
was
claiming
there.
race, maiden claim, and
Yeah.
she also got that vicious duel in the test when Victory Ride won, but
Victory,
she
yeah.
ran the best race. She ran a race like Serengeti Empress ran in this year's Ballerina. Only Victory Rider beat her. She was pretty darn good. Yeah, what about, I mean, there really isn't a lot. Well, Hidden Enemy, I just thought ran fine for Steve Asmussen. Followed the winner of the race, but that
Yep.
seemed like a solid race in there and got a good trip and lease. I mean, you and I are on the same page
Yeah,
in here.
same
The
page.
9 and 8 looked like the other two. Let me quickly see if there are any interesting pedigrees to talk about besides Extra Heat. The 6 American Diamond has pedigree for Mark Cassie. There's some pedigree there, and I put restored order for Todd Pletcher. The dam did win on the turf, and you
One
know.
sibling, one on the turf, and it's my boy Frosted.
And Todd
His
on
first
these
crop.
dirt to turf moves, not first timers. He's not great with first timers and turf routes, but the dirt to turf moves, and they're pretty good.
He
So
also has a couple of dirt sprints under his belt.
see what happens. Race number 8 at mile and a 16th. I didn't get clever here. You're trying to get clever, but I just picked this horse, good old boy. Anthony, I thought this horse ran very well last time. He was on top of the pace. This pace fell apart in the late stages. I thought this horse ran well for Mike Maker, and I know he's got a cheaper look to him, but maybe he's just improved.
I had a tough time with this race, Andy. I really had a tough time with this race.
Chavez rode Extra Heat in that Breeders' Cup Sprint,
Wow.
by the way.
Okay. I had a tough time with this race. Yeah, this horse makes a lot of sense coming out of that open state-bred claiming race. Those state-bred claiming races, man, you can catch a salty bunch of horses and now drop it into the A other than. It looks like a drop-in class. Truth of the matter is, it's probably, it looks like on paper, it looks like
jumping
a
class.
jumping class. This is probably a drop-in class. I mean,
I
he's
agree.
running against
Catch a
horses-
cab. These
Yeah.
are old pros. I just thought the horse was super logical. I mean, these are the kind of horses I normally look to try to play against. But the more I looked, I mean, I thought this horse was best.
I liked, and we kind of, with my top pick aside, kind of see the race the same way. I wanted to bet point him out back
Okay.
off of his race 2 back behind graded on a curve. Last time
He ran
out,
fine two back. I don't disagree with
yeah,
you.
last time out, I think he just kind of got lost in a really hot pace.
Maybe moved a little soon.
Maybe moved a little too soon and flattened out late. I think things will set up a little bit better for him today. It's weird because he comes from off the pace and you say, well, he went fast. It helps him. Sometimes it doesn't help these horses to just have that one run. He probably moved too soon and flattened. He's going to be a square price. I don't think you're going to find a bad price in here. I really don't.
No, I agree. I mean, Jimmy Jazz did stumble at the start last time. He's not impossible. Jack the Cat's not impossible in this race. I'm going to use Barley One Besides, you like him as a new gelding. You can't resist new geldings, but he was on top of that wicked pace. I mean, that was a 3-horse pace that completely incinerated last time. And I thought his maiden win, while he had a good trip, he really took a step forward. And I don't see why Barley One should be discounted. I think he just was hurt by the trip last time out.
Agreed.
And
I agree.
I also think Microsecond's okay. I mean, you don't have him in the top 4. I've got him third.
He's the fifth
Take a look at his
pick.
win. It's a tough jump, and he's meeting some nicer horses in here. But I tell you something, he ran last time. He was on top of the pace. He was wide, 3 wide the whole way, and he just kept on running. And the horses who filled in behind him, they were sucking up at the end of the race. I actually thought this horse, Microsecond, ran really well in his last race.
Andy liked this race so much, we're going to watch it twice this morning. We watched it for Tackle.
Already, yeah. I always like when I do that.
Let's see what happens. I'd like to see how Tackle runs.
Yeah, but Tackle just sucked up in there. Microsecond did all the dirty work. Not
did.
all the dirty work. The dirty work was alongside Ben in the lead, who ran fine to finish 5th at 100-1 for, I think it was Michelle Nevin. But I think that Microsecond ran very well in that race.
Was entered yesterday for the Albany, scratched out for the spot where it seems like he's far more likely to win this one. 7-2 on the morning line. He's on the turf.
Nice to see Chestertown get it together. That was a nice run down there. Nice to see him.
Yeah, he ran well yesterday. Dug in. Was waiting to see a race like that out of him.
Yeah.
This is an interesting race. I think the 2, 3, 4, 8. I had to put my boy Simply in there just to nudge you a little bit.
Well, he has no chance.
2,
It's
3,
just
4,
embarrassing.
8, 10, 11. I thought could win this race. This is a tough race for me.
All right.
Starts
I
to late
agree.
pick
No,
5.
I agree. This is a fun race to start it out. Now, the Jim Dandy, you've got a 2-headed Todd Pletcher monster in here, and we'll start out with Happy Saver. And Happy Saver is scratched. The one Happy Saver is scratched.
When did that happen?
Ooh, it's a big scratch. I hope. Oh, it just happened. Thank you, Steve. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's okay.
Wow.
Really, I do. I mean, this is a very promising horse.
Me too.
So I'm
I don't
sorry to hear
disagree.
that. So Dr. Post will be a big favorite. Obviously, that'll hurt the price on our horse as well.
Yes.
Todd Pletcher has not won a route dirt graded stake at Saratoga since Carolina in the 2016 Shoe V's. Over 28 since then.
Wow.
His last grade 1 win was Carolina was placed first in the CCA Oaks over Ima
Took down
Chatterbox. 2015.
Larry Jones filly, right? Yep.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Wow.
That's surprising. Yeah, I was surprised to see that.
They actually put me up that day, too. That was the last
Tamaro
time,
found that stat. So, obviously, Dr. Post is way the horse to beat in the scratches, no doubt. I'm so sorry not to see Happy Saver. I picked against him, but I really think he could be good. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I almost felt like he was the one in here that could have wowed us and went on to the Preakness with
I agree.
A really big chance to I don't want to say rival Tisdalaw, but yeah. Hopefully everything's fine. Hopefully they're just waiting for another day.
Moretti is also scratched out of the Suburban. It's 2 Todd Pletchers.
It was late, right?
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, anyway, I agree with you, Anthony. I'm a fan of this horse. I think he's a very, very promising horse.
Yeah.
And so with Dr. Post, what happened last time?
You go back and watch
Not that he was
Haskell.
terrible, but
I thought he had a little bit of trouble.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he got shuffled a little bit early. I agree. I thought that Joe Bravo got him shuffled out of the position early. That's fair.
I think the way that race unfolded.
Oh, he's running in the Tessio on Monday.
Oh. So he's fine.
Well,
race over the track.
That's good.
No,
Okay,
not a race over the
I'm
track.
sorry we won't
Let's
see him,
race down
but
at Laurel.
I'm glad he's fine. That's good.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick.
Wonder what that says about what Todd thinks of Dr. Post's chances, right? To keep them separated. For you Offspring fans out, keep them separated. For you Offspring fans out there,
So I'm the only guy who's new. I got 3 texts that didn't know he was entered in the Tessio. And
I didn't know.
Federico Tessio.
I didn't know.
That's a shame.
Yeah. It's a shame we didn't know.
So Dr. Post did have some early trouble. I still don't think he ran after that.
Kind of just sucked up third because
got a good
nobody
enough
else was
fig, though.
around. Yeah.
He's the worst to beat. I don't think there's any reason to go on a big thing against him. As far as Mystic Guide, what do you like about him?
Selfishly, in my opinionated ways, I remember saying after the allowance race behind Tapper to win, I said, I think this horse needs a pair of blinkers. He's kind of, I don't want to say he's a little green, but he's certainly not as focused as he needs to be. And I think he kind of did the same thing last time. He kind of goofs off a little bit. And I'm just hoping the blinkers are going to help him. He looks like a horse, obviously bred to be any kind, and he looks like a horse that's going to continue to appreciate these added distances. Now he gets the mile and an eighth again, but I think with the blinkers, third start off the layoff, I think he's primed for a top effort. And I think if he moves forward, I think you and I kind of feel the same way about Dr. Post. I don't know. Dr. Post at some point now is going to need to take a step forward, and he kind of hasn't. He kind of just keeps running the same race. He's kind of plateaued a little bit, whereas this horse has made some incremental improvement, and I think he needs the blinkers. I think the blinkers are going to really be the
I
the
feel
game
like,
changer.
but I'm not. You get caught up in the blinkers, and maybe you're right. I don't really care about that stuff that much. But I think the reason they put him on, he got lost last time. I don't know if it was on Jose, and I'm not looking to knock Jose, who I think is a fabulous rider, but he got lost last time, and he actually did come running at the end. And horses that were effective in that race were at least relatively forward. So I do feel, and that track, don't forget, the beginning of the meet, it was very tough to make up ground. Oh, Jesus.
He got lost. That's the best way to put it. He kind of got lost, and I think that's because he's just not focusing. Because it looked the same when he
was
got
closer.
second.
I know it was a one turn at Belmont, but he was a lot closer to a reasonable, pretty quick pace two back, and he didn't have blinkers on, Anthony. So I don't know what happened last time. But I imagine Jose probably said he may need to lost focus.
I think that's what happened.
But it was strange, and I agree. I think he has some upside to him. As far as the other horses in here,
and we were both, we both thought we were going to get that 4-1 today with both Todd Pletcher horses in there.
Obviously,
and now he's 2-1,
2-1,
5-2.
Right. Live Your Beast Life is an improving horse, and it feels like Jorge Abreu's horses are certainly having quite a meet.
He's on the rail now with the scratch of.
Does that matter?
Happy Saver. Well, he's faster than Celtic Striker, isn't he?
Mm-mm.
You don't think he is?
I do not.
I think he's faster than Celtic Striker.
Well, he's not, but okay. Maybe his recent races make him fast. Maybe you're right. With that inside position, but do you really want him gunning in there? I mean, Junior, when's the last time Junior sent a horse to lead? He rated Blewett yesterday.
See,
why did they rate Blewett yet? Why did they run Blewett if they're going to rate him?
They rated Blewett the last 2 times now.
Well, Blewett sort of had no speed last time, but yesterday he broke in top, and they took back, and it wasn't even a fast pace.
I don't know.
It wouldn't be. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you do that, but
I don't either. I got a lot of love for Live Your Beast Life.
He's got to take another big step forward, but he is improving and got the right trainer right now. Even looks at Jesus' team is no bum. You'd be shocked when he gets a piece.
I think it's Jesus's.
Jesus' team?
Yeah, I think it's Jesus.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
No, that's fair.
Blinkers. He's another horse gets a pair of blinkers for the first time. He ran behind Pneumatic for Steve Asmussen last time in the Pegasus. Exclaimer. Yeah, could have had him for 25,000.
He's okay. This horse. He's not. He's okay.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with him.
All right. The Jim Dandy. First Jim Dandy I saw Force 10 won with Don Pierce. I want to say. Of course, my favorite Jim Dandy. There have been a lot of good ones, but Nick winning it with Louis Couture's over Will's Way. But
96.
Sitting around the 16th pole with my friend Larry. It was his birthday. We'd gotten seats for it and watching Affirmed run down Sensitive Prince, who was way in front at the 8th pole in there, the Chief. Kamari scratched out of the Prioress. I'm going to say right now, I feel kind of clueless in this Prioress. I'm lost in this race. I feel like just about anyone can win this race. And we'll take a look at Frank's Raquette, Reagan's Edge, and Center Isle in the Victory Ride. Why do you like Center Isle, who I think can win?
Yeah, Center Isle, kind of against it last time. The inside was good down at Belmont Park this day. I had to do all the chasing 3 wide. Now, again, another blinker change for this horse. The blinker's going to go on. And she's another one. Looked really good in her debut. She got off to a slow start and didn't have a good time of the first time, maybe a little bit of lackadaisical here. Again, I don't think being where she was on the track when the inside was good helped that she was wide, but I think the blinkers are going to kind of help her focus and put it all together. That's a good stat.
It is helped by a big priced winner in a turf stake down in.
At least they're still winning at 20. They're winning at over 25%.
A horse that Mike Beer picked to pay $38 actually about 4 years ago.
They're winning at 25%.
Right. It doesn't strike the reason I showed it more is that it's not a desperation.
A lot of
Chad
and that's
Brown's
what I was going to get to. A lot of trainers.
A lot of times you do it at the end. I don't say you want to convict trainers for doing it. It's a desperation
It's
move.
a desperation move, and you could see Chad does it with a purpose. That stat proves that he does it with a purpose.
It certainly seems as much. And a lot of times, you don't see it with horses that aren't maidens. You'll see it earlier in their careers. I feel as though she was badly compromised by a ridiculously slow pace. They went 1:14.2 for 6.5 furlongs. Gives you an idea of just how fast that track was. Yet went 23 the first quarter. And I think that badly compromised. Do you think Frank Rocket has the speed in here? She isn't the pace projector. The other thing is the pace projector has Reagan's Edge much farther out. What happens to Reagan's Edge when they go faster the first quarter today?
I put a fourth. Again,
and like her last time, and I was dead wrong. She ran great.
Yeah, she ran her proverbial eyeballs out last time. I wonder how much more forward secondary market is today.
Well, see, she's got speed. She's working very well since her last race. So that was a 6.5 furlong race. She was kind of forced by her sharp break last time out, which is not a bad thing to happen. See, I think this horse is the speed. The horse we're looking at here, Hello Beautiful. And this is 2 back in the slop at Laurel. I think Kendrick Carmouche is going right at the front with her. She got completely slammed coming out of the gate last time at Ellis and lost all chance whatsoever. She was favored over
Monday Call. Yeah.
Okay, who didn't win, but she was favored in the 8 bells.
Sconson did win the 8 bells, and Sconson was in there too. She was favored into her.
She's got a 95 buyer figure in December of her 2-year-old year at Laurel. She's got a 94 in this race. I'm going to tell you, I think this horse is going to get a little lost in here. Maybe she's going to run against the big girls, and she's going to look around and go, I'm just not as good as these. But maybe she's not. Maybe she's every bit as good, if not better than everybody in here, and she's going to be a big price.
She's going to be
now, keep in mind,
big price. David
had Kamari favored, and she scratched, so reduce everybody's price by about a third, somewhere in there, a quarter to a third. But still, I'm going to get 6 to 8 to 1 on her. How do I know this horse isn't every bit as good as these horses? There's no killers in here. I don't love Frank's Rocket. I thought she had everything her own way last time.
She's just so consistent, Andy.
I know.
Never out of the exactor, an 8 tries, 4
I know.
win, you know what I mean?
But there's a lot more going. What if the pace is a little quicker here and Up and Smoke gets into it? She's been compromised time and time again.
Yeah, I
Secondary market apparently is outworking Center Isle. Now, maybe Center Isle's not a good workhorse.
Right.
But secondary market has been working very well since her last race. And Chad Brown, he wouldn't just throw her in against the Wolves in this race unless she was showing him that she should run.
Yeah, I'm using 4, 5s, and 7s. You may have talked me into a little 6.
Throw the 6. I don't
you
love her.
You may have talked me into a little 6.
She's got some good races, this horse.
See, it's easy to spread. And I assume we're done with the Prioress. It's easy to spread.
Horse that just can't possibly lose.
It's easy to spread in the Prioress when,
sick man.
In the Grade 1 Woodward, we have, ta-da, Steve. Steve.
This is
11th
going well
race,
for you,
Steve.
11th
race.
I'm enjoying this.
Big horse.
Keep going. Ta-da.
Come on.
Did you actually say ta-da?
I said ta-da.
I think that's the first ta-da of Talking Horses.
You did it a few weeks ago. You did ta-da a few weeks ago.
Steve, put the 11th race picks up,
Come on,
please.
Steve.
There we are. See, you listen to me. He doesn't listen to you.
There he is. My boy.
Moretti is scratched, by the way.
Yes.
Not that. He was
there
my
he
sixth.
is.
He was my 6th pick here.
There's my single. Big brave old me.
Let me ask you a question.
Even money shot.
You love money moves today in the Derby?
I do
well, you must.
I don't.
You must, because you picked Prioritize 2nd here, so you must love money moves in the Derby.
Oh, man, I'm just...
You must love him. Money moves must be the key to your Derby plays. Let's take a look at Tacitus. We don't need to worry about Moretti anymore, who finished 2nd.
Yes.
You and I do have a love of Tacitus. I think you love him more than I do. I've gotten a little more realistic about him. I do want to see him run a big fig one of these days.
Yes.
I really do.
I do, too.
And I know he won easily here, but at least the idiocy knocking Tacitus has quieted down since the Suburban, because all he has been is unlucky. All he's done is face the best horses of his generation and run well. And he's been unlucky in races through no fault of his own. Dead rails aren't his fault. Gold rails when you draw post 10 at a mile and a half or 9 aren't your fault. Stumbling badly once in your life it's your fault, but it's not really your fault. All he's been has been unlucky. Slow paces.
All he's been has been unlucky.
And certainly not a problem in a mile and a quarter. And given this race, he's supposed to shine today.
He's supposed to sit a very similar trip that he sat in the Suburban, right? Global Campaign's going to go to the lead, and he's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be sitting second to him. I think that's enough. I put Prioritize second because Math Wizard's coming back in 8 days.
Well, you want to talk about priorities? Go ahead.
Sure.
We'll discuss
Well,
Math Wizard.
talk about Prioritize. You mentioned it. What is it? 436 winners for Jim Bond.
My problem with Prioritize is that figure does not hold up to scrutiny. That figure feels 8 to 10 points high.
If you think it's that much higher, that's fine. But I believe this horse.
Anthony, it does not hold up to scrutiny.
Okay.
It doesn't. I'm just telling you right now.
believe he's improved a lot since he's been moved to the dirt.
Oh,
I do believe he's
that's a fact, Anthony.
Yeah.
That's not a.
I don't believe he's going to mind an extra eighth of a mile. And he's going to be.
You know, when you have a broodmare by Kirafuni, this versus love distance.
I'm just saying the way he runs and the way he travels, it doesn't look like the distance is going to be a problem.
No, I have no argument with that.
No. I think Global Campaign was stretched at a mile and an eighth last time.
Well,
in the
let's take a
Monmouth
look
Cup.
at Global Campaign being Math Wizard. I'm not so sure, Anthony. I think Global Campaign. I'm going to use him in the pick 5. I'm going to tell you something.
Worried, just hoping he gets in front and keeps going.
Here,
yeah.
And he's pretty good, this horse. I mean, this horse always had a right to be good. He was a good 3-year-old. His Peter Pan was very good. I'd be careful in taking a strong position against him, Anthony. I like Tacitus, too. I considered putting this horse on top just to fool around with you a little bit, too. I thought this horse ran very well. I had no evidence that the rail was particularly gold. The other speed finished 6th in this race. I think you're underestimating the talent of Global Campaign. I really do. Stanley Huff, is there a better trainer around than him?
Stanley's as good as
it
gets.
I mean, I think this horse is pretty darn good.
Okay.
And
I'm not his biggest fan. I'm going to try and get
You're going to deny
Prioritize.
his Peter Pan was
No.
sensational?
Peter Pan was very good.
He ran very well. He didn't get the right trip in the Jim Dandy, and obviously something went wrong. He was out for a long time after that. Be careful with this horse. I think he's better than you think he is.
I'm not as concerned as you seem to be. To the point where I'm going to try and get.
I'm going to try and get both.
I'm going to try and get a 2-6 home here.
Do you think, looking back on it, chipping down to Charlestown with Math Wizard was a good move?
I'll tell you what, and I'm not defending Safi here, but that track was just all speed.
To be perfectly honest, it was a very big check.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They hung up a 6-ball down there. You're going to try and take a shot with him, and then he ran into a bias that a horse like him, a grinder like him, is just not going to be able to overcome a speed bias like that track.
He's not impossible. I can't bet him in this race coming back at 8.
He's not a bull ring horse.
I can't bet him.
He's really not.
I don't think Spinoff is totally impossible. I mean, you have to take a step forward, but he's got the race of the track, and he ran pretty well in this race. Yeah, Endorse probably didn't get the best of trips in here, but Endorse wasn't beating him. Endorse wasn't beating him. He beat him by 3 lengths, Anthony.
He beat him. He beat him on a square. He beat him on a square.
Yeah, I mean,
he beat him on a square.
Maybe Endorse could have been closer, but at the end of the day, he
starting
ran.
to wonder now if Endorse wants maybe a little less ground than the mile and an eighth. I don't know.
You may be part of the jinx of the Met Mile.
I don't love. Yeah. He may be
Horses
part
are
of that.
hurt out of that race. Horses are not running well out of that race.
Yep.
Looks like that Met Mile is kind of that Met Mile that was so good last year is kind of falling apart.
That's what I mean, though. Meth Wizard back in 7 days. I'm not thrilled with Global Campaign. Don't really. Prioritize is improving. The barn's on fire. He's going to be either the longest or the second longest price on the board. This exacta might be coming back 11 for $1.
Okay.
Be very happy with 11 for $1. I'd sign that contract now.
If you don't like Global Campaign and you think Tacitus can't lose, you could very easily. There's nothing wrong with playing a 2-6. I can't argue with that.
That's how I feel.
Have a different opinion on the race, but that's very fair. Race number 12. We'll show a replay of traffic pattern. I'm getting a little edgy. I need to make a little trip to see a man about a dog. He's the horse to beat, I guess. It's a very funny exchange after his last race at Monmouth that you may or may not remember.
There should have been.
I wasn't a big fan of the rider.
There should have been
on him, and I had a discussion about him with Chad Brown, who defended him to me. And after he ran last time, he told me I was right. He won this race pretty easily, to be honest. I got no knock on him.
I have no knock on him either.
Very logical.
Got himself involved in some sort of a wild duel last time out down at Monmouth Park for no reason.
Whoa, what's going on here? It's like a hedgehog or something. See that?
Chipmunk? A lot of chipmunks.
No, chipmunk. That thing was about 50 times the size of it. That was the Anthony Stabile
chipmunks.
chipmunks.
That's awesome. Big little A? Is there a big little A back there? I don't know.
Wow.
I'll protect you, Andy. Don't worry about it. I don't like possums, although possums are very good for the environment.
Okay.
Apparently.
Everything has its place.
Yes. I'm afraid of owls.
I picked doubly blessed.
Did you really? You
Trainer
picked
change
Kansas
to
horse,
Mike
huh?
Baker. You got a second. I just went the other way. I figured you'd pick Seth's horse, and I'd go with doubly blessed, who feels like the other horse.
Yeah, I have
Trainer
loyalty.
changed to Mike.
No,
to Mike.
Steve Christ. I picked this horse yesterday. You didn't have 1, 2, 3, 4.
By the way, congratulations to Steve, Chris, and Ken Durrett, and of course Phil Gleaves, who bred that horse yesterday.
Bred, part owner, and trainer. Phil
That
did
was
a great
awesome.
job. That was fun
Great
to see
ride by
yesterday.
Joel.
Great ride by Joel.
I mean, that was great. Nice pick by you, and I was funny.
I'm just breaking your chops because Steve.
No,
I know Steve how close you and Steve are.
No, I just thought it was
And
funny.
Steve pointed out you didn't have 1, 2, 3, 4 to me in an email exchange.
Did
so
he? That's
did.
great. Well,
did.
Steve, he was laughing. I called him after the race, and I was laughing with him. I said to him, at least I refrained from saying to you, you're one of the smartest people I've ever known, but when you got a horse, you became an idiot like everybody else that gets a horse and suddenly started thinking your horse was
That was
better
a good
than he
effort.
was.
That was a good effort
Yeah,
yesterday.
that was great. No, and it was great. I was so happy for Phil as well, and Steve and Ken also. So that was really fun. Of course, Steve Chris, the former racing he was a former racing titan. Now he's just another degenerate horse player. What about Our Country, first time for a tag? He's just...
Yeah, he's just...
I got a stat. Oh, I think I have a stat. Do you have a stat here?
Mr. Weaver?
Yeah.
There we go.
2 for 34.
Yikes.
First time for a tag on the turf. Eek.
And this is a horse, and when he first came
Here's a
around,
horse.
he was going to be a little something. He had a little problem
good.
with the bit in that with anticipation, and ever since that day, it's been just downhill. Really, I wonder if that was just left a bad taste in his mouth. No pun intended. It just he doesn't like doing it.
Life on Top is okay here, right? Jimmy
Yeah.
Durkin's horse.
Oh
talking?
yeah, sure. Blinkers go on.
Jimmy has some decent first time for a tag numbers. Not the biggest sample, but he's okay in here.
Yeah.
Junior, I was going to use mostly.
What about Operative? I didn't put him on a board, but Operative, his last race, I think.
I have to go to the bathroom badly, and you're
Okay.
bringing up Operative. Let's talk about the Derby quickly. Was that just intentional? I'm not trying to beat Tiz the Law. My
bit.
idea is 2 horses I'm going to try to get in there. I'm going to try to get Max Player, who I still consider Linda's horse, and just draws well. He's the kind of horse that won't be used trying to win the race. I didn't like the Baffert horse in here, and maybe a little attachment rate. I'm not against Honor AP. I don't like his last race at all, but I have him in the mix. I think I picked it 17-2, 16-13.
I picked it 17-3
Who's the
to
3?
16 Enforceable, who won our only 2-turn race for dirt horses up here last year, and then had a steady diet of graded stakes after that. He ran against a couple of biases down in Louisiana in the Risen Star and
His
the
Bluegrass was
Louisiana
terrible.
Derby. It was his first start in 4 months, and the race was dominated on the front end.
Okay.
He's going to be
Listen,
30-1, and he's going to be coming. He'll be
You
running
have a
late.
better Derby record than I do, my friend. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. There's no better way to play the races, and there's no better way to support racing and support racing in New York. Horse racing cannot afford to have money taken out of the game. If you play through Naira Bets, all the money stays in horse racing.
Very
There's
important.
nothing more important than that. Also, we'll offer you a $25 bonus, $200 blah, blah, blah. Promo code is Derby25. You know the drill. 25 to win in the last race here, the 4th at Del Mar for $5. Bet it through the app. Also, what else do we got? 100. Bet 100 at least at Churchill today and Saratoga, and you get a $25 bonus. Bet them all through the app and the app only. Cross country pick 5, the Jim Dandy. Monmouth 9th, Delaware 8th, Saratoga 10th, the Prioress, and then the Woodbine 9th, the Vigil, grade 3, up at Woodbine. We have the contest, last contest. There's still a few minutes to sign up for this. Go to Naira.com/challenge, $250 buy-in. You know the drill. Saratoga Live, 11, it's already started. 11 to 6:30 today before the Derby, which goes off at 7 o'clock. Head to Naira.com/Saratoga Live. Talking Horses presented by our good friends at Saratoga Water. We hope everybody has a wonderful Kentucky Derby day.
Happy Derby.
Enjoy the races here today. We've got 12 tomorrow and 14 to close it out on Monday. We'll see you all a little bit later. Johnny I up with a reprise, the scratches and changes.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Saratoga. And we have a delightful day in store on this final Saturday of the 2020 meet. Sunny skies, temperature in the 70s. The main track is fast. The turf courses are firm. Portable rails are up on both the melon and the inner turf at 18 feet. And we have that Empire 6 jackpot carryover of more than $395,000. And here are the changes. First race, no changes. In the second race, scratch the 1A. We got old, you got sold. Second race, scratch the 1A. In today's third race, scratch 3 Gringotts and 9 Appletini. In the third, scratch numbers 3 and 9. Race 4 is the Glens Falls Stakes. We now have an overweight there. Number 6, Palace Athene, is 2 pounds over. In race 5, an overweight, number 9, Rye Runner, 1 pound over. Today's sixth race will begin a mandatory payout pick 5, additional pick 5 today, starting in race number 6, and there are no changes there. Seventh race kicks off the Empire 6. And we have 3 scratches. Scratch 10, scratch the 10, River Redemption, 11 Demon, and 12 Tiwanaku. Scratch numbers 10, 11, and 12, and note that number 6, American Diamond, is 1 pound over. In the 8th race, scratch 1A Stanhope and scratch the 6, Market Bubble. Scratch 1A and 6 out of the 8th. The 9th race is the Jim Dandy Stakes. It's also the start of the cross-country pick 5. And in the 9th race here at Saratoga, scratch number 1, Happy Saver. Scratch the 1, Happy Saver, out of the 9th race, the Jim Dandy. 10th race, the Prioress. Scratch number 1, Kamari. Scratch the 1, Kamari. Race 11 is the Grade 1 Woodward. Scratch number 3, Moretti. Scratch number 3, Moretti, out of race 11, the Woodward. And in today's 12th race, scratch 7, Tolaga Bay, and 14, No Lime. Scratch 7 and 14. A jockey change on the 6, implied volatility to Mike Luzzy. Luzzy rides the 6. Note that number 1, Our Country, is 2 pounds over. Main track fast, turf courses firm, jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of $395,038. The first of 12 races here at Saratoga, coming up in 25 minutes at 11:45.